Welcome to the Art of Quilling. I'm the wacky musician, although this has nothing to do with music, and I'm going to show you the simple fun craft that's easy to do, made from rolling paper strips. So here's a much more complicated design made from quilling. And here's an advanced design. You'll notice this is a full three-dimensional object. So that gives you an idea what you can do with it. Let's get started. And so let's take a look at what you will need to do a quilling project. Now what you see in front of you is my quilling board. And this is just made from a cutting board, cheap cutting board, that I glued a ruler on here. And over here, this is a bottle cap that's going to hold the glue I need. That just makes it easier. You could just have a ruler and a glue cap, but it makes it a lot easier if it's attached to a board. You're going to need a pin, PIN pin, and that's going to be used to get glue from here onto your paper. And you're going to need a quiller, or a quilling tool. Got two of them. This one is the beginner's tool. It's got a pretty thick end, pretty easy to put the paper in, but leaves a wider roll. This one here is a more advanced quiller's tool. It's got a thinner end, but still has a slit. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, to slide the paper in. Makes a much tighter roll. It's a little bent too. I'm going to be using the advanced one. And then you will, of course, need paper. Specifically, you will need quilling paper. And here's a pack of quilling paper. This one's never even been opened. Let me open it. So this is white quilling paper here. You'll see quilling paper is very thin. Technically, I suppose you could make it yourself, but it wouldn't be easy. You'd have to have a very precision paper cutter. One more thing you need is glue. So just good old-fashioned Elmer's glue will do the job, or some generic version of that. So we're going to start by opening this glue, and we're going to put a bit of glue into the bottle cap here. You'll see why we do it that way when we start working on it. And of course, to reclose this, I'm going to wipe off the tip so it doesn't glue shut. Now I also do have, I didn't mention, I do have a piece of paper here. You need something to attach your craft to. So there is a piece of paper. So we're going to make right now, a very, very small snowman. It's very small so that it can be done very quickly. So we're going to take a piece off our paper here. Take a strip. If I can get it to cooperate, there we go. I'm just going to set the rest aside out of the way. So I've got a strip here of quilling paper. Get my quiller out of the way. And I'm going to lay it across the ruler, and I'm going to use 4-inch segments here. So I'm going to break on the edge of the ruler here. Can you see the edge? There it is. Okay. So we're going to take a sheet, or a strip. We're going to take a strip of the paper, stick it in the slit in the quilling tool. And just, you can see how I'm pressing it against my index finger. And with my thumb guiding it, we're just going to roll it upon itself. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. Just rolling it. Normally my thumb would probably be like this, holding it, but so you can see I'm holding it back. So we're just going to roll it until we've rolled it all the way. Okay. So now we have a very tight roll. Now, sometimes you may want rolls. Let's see if I can hold it. You may want rolls that are this tight. Right now, we don't. So we're going to let it loosen up. Just going to let it unwind just a little bit to loosen it. We don't want it too loose. And something like that. And now is where we take our glue. And this is where we need our PIN pin. It's distinguished from a PEN pin. We're going to dip that pin in the glue. That's going to, we've just got a little bit of glue, so we don't have a ton. And we're going to wipe some glue on the end. Not a whole lot. And we're going to close our circle up by taping that piece of paper onto the side, so that now our circle is solid. Right. Before we continue, we should go ahead and draw out our design so we know what we're doing. Normally I'd use very light lines. This is where I'm going to glue it. My camera's staying focused. It doesn't look like it. So we're going to start sketching out what we're going to draw, and as I said, it's going to be very small because we don't want to spend a lot of time for the video. So I'm going to draw my snowman head like that. Keep in mind this is upside down in your view because I'm facing opposite direction the camera's filming. This is the body, just a little bit bigger. And the bottom part, bottom of the snowman here, just a little bit bigger. Now, it is such a small thing that my first roll here will fit right over the head, the roll we already made. I'm sorry the camera doesn't want to stay in focus. I set it to manual mode, but it seems to ignore me anyways. So I'm putting some, can you see that? Putting some glue on the bottom of one of my earlier roll. And I'm going to just sticking to my finger. I'm going to stick that on the top here. That's going to be the head. That was a 4-inch roll. Now I'm going to take some more of my paper. So I'm going to get another strip, because as you can see I already used up all the other strip. And I'm thinking of a different design. But what we're going to do for this is we're just going to make a larger roll for the body. So instead of 4 this time, I'm going to measure out 5 inches. How did that get off the... Okay, come back forward so we can see that. The camera's moved. 5 inches there. And I'm going to roll, bring this back up, okay. I'm going to roll this up like we did the other, stick it in the little slot on the quilling tool, and come forward, okay, and just roll it, and as I said before, it's often easy if you keep your thumb here. I'm just trying to keep it out of the way so you can see. And we're going to roll it into a tight circle and then let it expand out. And I'm going to go ahead and see, okay, how big I want it there. Not that big. I can tighten it up a little bit. It's trying to get away from me. Okay. So maybe about that size is good. You can see it there. So let me let go of it. It's losing its band. And then having trouble when I try to show you, it goes all unraveled. Right, and then I'm going to take a little glue, put some glue on the end again, and glue it closed. Get that to stick. And this will be the middle part of the body. So we'll take some glue here, and I'm just going to stick some glue here where it's going to go, and a little where it'll stick to the head. And push that into place. Maybe be a little bigger than I planned, but that'll be okay. As it covers up the drawing lines. You can see a little through it, but that'll be alright. Okay. Now we got to do the bottom piece. So for the bottom piece, we need to, we're going to take our quilling paper here, and because we need a big one, I'm going to do 7. Make a nice big one for the body, bottom of the body. Then we roll that. Make sure I'm on camera. And roll that up in our quilling tool. Take a little longer here because it's a long sheet. Okay, there we go, 7 inches. Let it expand some. That should be good. Try to make it so you can see. And dab some glue on it. Alright, we've glued it shut. Now we're going to glue it in place. So I'm going to go right under the other one. Again, I'm going to touch up against the bottom of the middle section here, so there's some glue on that too. So it's not just connected to the paper, but it's also glued to the one above it. So I've got some glue there. And we're going to stick this in place. Go around it a little bit. It was getting a little square. I've got a little pencil showing. After the glue dries, I might try to erase some of that pencil. Didn't quite think so. There you have the snowman body, middle and head. There it goes blurring again. The camera's not cooperating. Now, let me just show you. I've got these extra rolls here. Now, if you were making a bigger snowman, what you would want to do is take several of these circles to make a body. So I could make one like that. That could be one of my circles of the snowman. Or a bigger one. I'd need one to go in the center there. But could do like that. So you can put the paper circles together to make the pictures. Because this one's so small, we're using a single roll for each piece of the body. Scoot those off. Alright. Now, we're going to add a third dimension onto our snowman, a second layer. So, we're going to go a little smaller. Actually, no, I changed my mind. We're going to stick with 4. I'm going to take a 4-inch piece. I'm going to roll it. But this time, I don't want to let it go very loose, because I want it to be smaller than the other one. Right now, we have a very tight one. We're going to let it loose just a little. So, it's going to stay fairly tight, but trying to keep it so you can see. It's going to be just a little loose, but not that loose, so that's smaller than the other headpiece to give our second layer, third dimension, so we maintain some semblance of roundness. So I'm going to lay that down so you can see it clearer. That's the size of that piece. Put a little glue on the back. We'll make sure there's a substantial amount because of where we're gluing it. Okay, so we've got glue on the back. It's going to go right in the middle of our headpiece. So just like that, adding a third dimension to our snowman there. And now we're going to need one for the middle section. So we'll do a 5. So our middle section was a 5. Roll it. Okay. And again, we're going to let it loose just a bit, but not nearly as much as before, so that it's smaller than the original roll. Come on, I'm getting enough glue there. Okay. Then glue it down. It stays closed. And then we're going to take this, put some glue on the back, good heaping of glue on the back so it says okay, and so we're going to stick it in the middle of the middle one for our middle. And there we go. Now we've got to do the one for the bottom. I don't have enough on that strip, so I got to get a new strip. Okay, and we're going to go up to, I think we did 7 on that one, so we're going to do 7 again. And roll those 7 inches. Let it expand out, but not as much as the original. Go about there. Glue it shut. Put that glue in there. Just let you see it. There it is. Yeah, I'm sorry about the camera. It just won't stay focused. It's kind of annoying. and then we're going to glue it on. It's an old camera. Right in the middle there, giving our snowman a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. So that's that. Now that's going to be it for the white. Now we need to add some eyes to our snowman. Because the head's so small, this could be a little tricky. But we're going to get a dark colored paper. I'm going to use brown. Well, I would use black, but I don't have any. So we're going to take a strip of brown here. I'm just going to do 2 inches. I'll need 2 of them for his eyes. And let's roll them. And I'm going to keep them as tight as possible this time. So when I'm done rolling, I'm not going to let it loosen at all. This can be a bit tricky. That 2 may still be too much because there's so little room. Let's change that to 1. I'm going to cut one of these in half and just do 1-inch tight rolls. See if I can fit eyes on that little tiny thing. So we're going to roll these very tight. And because we're rolling them tight, we're going to glue them while they're still on the quiller. Or the quilling tool. Am I off camera? Okay. So put a little glue on the end while it's still on the tool there. And glue it nice and tight. Roll it around my fingers there, make sure the glue sticks, and then pop it off. So we have a very small, tight roll there. And we're going to do one for the other eye, same thing. Roll it tight. Yeah, lost it. Get back in there. Roll it tight. Add a little glue. Gluing it while it's on the quiller. And wrapping it around until the glue sticks well. And pop it off. Okay. See if we can get these little eyes on. We don't have a lot of space to work with. This is such a small snowman. So a little glue on the bottom here. And we're going to try to give him some eyes right here. I'm going to get him on the very edge. Not sure how well this is going to work. He's just too small. And get the other eye here. Okay, there we go. That actually may be okay. One eye's slightly bigger than the other, but I think that will be okay. Alright, so I got some eyes on there. You can see them. Let me flip over so you can get a look here. Where is he? Oh. Alright, next we're going to do the nose. Noses on snowmen, of course, are usually carrots. So I'm going to get an orange piece here. Again, it's going to be really tiny, so I think we'll stick with just 1 inch. So I got my 1-inch orange paper there. I'm going to roll it again into a tight roll. And glue it while it's still on the quilling tool. And pop it off. Now, because this is a carrot, I'm going to try to pinch the tip here, make it more pointed. Not sure with it as thick as it is and so tiny if that'll actually do much. Oh, you know what? I know what we should do. Okay. So, scrap that. Sorry. Okay. So we have a tiny roll for our nose. What we're going to do, see if you can see this. I'm going to take my quilling tool. From underneath, I'm going to push out some of the layers carefully. We don't want to go too far, but let's see if you can see that. So that I've pushed up some of the inner layers to make it more of a carrot shape. So I'm going to pull that back off the tool, and we're going to glue that on the face just under the eyes. This would be easier on a larger snowman, but it would take a lot more time. Okay, so I'm going to get his carrot nose in there. He's kind of cute there with his little carrot nose. There's not going to be room for a mouth. Alright, that needs to dry a little before I mess with it. So here's what we have so far. Alright, so now we're going to give him a little hat. So I'm going to use red. Grab a red one here. Here's a red strip. For his hat, I think we're going to go to 6 inches. Cut that, and we'll roll it. My quilling tool here. And I'm going to go ahead and pop it off the quiller and let this one go loose. So this is not going to be a tight one. We're going to let it go loose. I want a pretty good size one, so I'm letting it quite a bit loose. Alright, time to glue the side shut here. Some glue on there. Glue it on. Now, so far we've only worked with circles. Once you have a circle glued, you can change the shape. It doesn't have to stay a circle. I'm going to make this like a Santa hat. Oops. By flattening one end, and then triangling, is that a word? Making the other end triangular. by pressing. Pressing it, so I'm pressing it up against it to flatten things out, and pinching the corners by doing so, making a triangle. And then I'm going to bend it back a little bit to give it more of a Santa hat look. Didn't quite go the way I wanted. I'm going to use a pencil here to try and open that up more. Well, that will do. I wanted a little more bend this way. Okay, so that's my little Santa hat shape. Now I'll take some glue to put it in place. Of course, it's going to go on the top here. A little glue there and touch the head so it glues to the head. And I'm going to put him in this place right there. Little Santa hat. And then I'm going to take some white. I've got a white strip right here. It's about 3. I'm going to cut it down to exactly 3 inches. And let's roll this white strip. This is going to be the bottom fuzz, the white fuzz of the hat. Roll it. And then let it loose. You can let this one go pretty loose. A lot of space between the rolls. Very loose for what we're going to do. Get the glue on it. Glue it shut. And then I'm going to shape this one kind of rectangular into a thin rectangle, again by pinching the sides. And I want it very thin rectangle because of the tiny size of our creation. So here's what I got. Let me see if I can show it to you. Okay, so you can see what I've made a very thin thing out of that. I'm going to need some glue. Put some glue on the bottom. Sometimes I do have tweezers. Sometimes, particularly with tiny stuff like this, tweezers are helpful. I'm not going to use them right now, but I just wanted to point that out. So we're going to put that right there to make the white part of the cap. It's actually setting it on the red part so that you're clear, next to the head. Okay, now we need a little ball for the top of the hat, so we need another piece of white. Let me grab one here. Get it off this strand. All right, there we go. And let's make this 2 inches. Make it 2 inches, and we're going to make it tight. Tight roll, 2 inches. So here we go, rolling it. And because it's going to be tight, we're going to glue it while it's on the quilling tool. Okay, and then pop it off. A little bit came out there. All right. Put a little glue on the bottom. This is going to be the ball of the hat. So I'm going to glue that right on the tip of the hat. There we go. A little delicate because it's so tiny. All right. And there you see our finished little itty bitty tiny snowman. That's to give you a little start and idea on how to do quilling.